Hi there, Jeff here with a video on wage elasticity of demand for labour. Now, wage elasticity of labour demand measures the responsiveness of demand for workers when there's a change in the wage rate. In part, it depends on labour cost as a percentage of total costs. You see, when you have a labour-intensive business, like maybe tourism, hospitality, retail, when labour expenses are a big percentage of a firm's total costs, then labour demand tends to be more wage elastic. Secondly, the ease and cost of substituting labour and capital. So a firm, for example, a security guard company might decide to replace some of their guards with new technology, with cameras. Labour demand tends to be more elastic when a firm can substitute easily and cheaply and timely between labour and capital inputs. In some jobs, however, it's very hard and costly to replace the labour. Thirdly, and this is important, the pricing elasticity of demand, or PED, for the final product. If wages go up and costs go up, the PED for the final good or service determines whether a firm can pass on those higher costs to consumers in the form of a higher price. Demand's price inelastic, cost can be passed on. If demand is price elastic, it's much harder to do that. And fourthly, the time period. In the long run, it's easier for firms to switch factor inputs, perhaps bringing in more capital to replace labour over time. So this diagram here shows a wage elastic labour demand curve where employment is sensitive to a change in wage. If the wage goes up from W1 to W2, then there is quite a big fall in employment, big contraction in employment from E1 to E2. Whereas this diagram shows a wage inelastic labour demand curve. And here, a large rise in wage from W1 again to W3 causes only a relatively small fall in employment. So in this situation where wages go up, the number of people employed only falls by a small amount. In fact, the total reward to labour will go up because W3 multiplied by E3 is bigger than W1 multiplied by E1. Whereas when labour demand is elastic on the left-hand side here, a rise in the wage from W1 to W2 actually causes a fall in total incomes for workers. So it's worth understanding, if you're studying labour market economics for your exams, the important concept of wage elasticity of labour demand.